Muy buenas tardes con todos. Gracias por su participación en esta Expo Alemania segunda edición. El día de hoy tengo el agrado de presentar a la empresa Aguascalientes y a su expositor, el señor Eduardo Infante, quien nos va a hablar sobre el tema Aguascalientes, The Engine of Mexico. En caso de tener alguna pregunta, por favor realizarla en su pantalla, en la parte superior hay un icono de chat. Ahí la podrán realizar y será respondida al finalizar la conferencia. Le cedo la palabra al señor Infante. Adelante, señor Infante.
Muchas gracias, Sandra, pues un honor estar acompañándolos en esta expo virtual en la que el estado de Aguascalientes, México, se honra de participar. Y bueno, voy a cambiar a inglés si no hay problema para que la conversación la llevemos en esta idea y podamos abarcar a más gente. Good evening. Thank you very much for being here. My name is Eduardo Infante. I'm the Deputy Minister of Economic Development of the state of Aguascalientes in Mexico. And in this webinar called Aguascalientes, Driving Mexico from Within as the Engine of Mexico, we will be reviewing what the state of Aguascalientes is all about. So please feel free to ask any questions as the conversation goes to or takes place. And we are very honored on behalf of our governor and our Minister of Economic Development in the state of Aguascalientes. We are pleased to show you some of the features of this small state in the center of Mexico that has been one of the most competitive entities in the country of Mexico in the past decade. So Aguascalientes is located right in the heart of Mexico. We are part of a region, of a greater area that is called El Bajío. El Bajío is an area or a region composed by different states, at least 5 of them in Mexico. Those would be the states of Jalisco, Guanajuato, San Luis Potosí, Querétaro, and Aguascalientes, as well as some parts of the state of Zacatecas and the northern region of the state of Michoacán. So Aguascalientes happens to be one of the 32 states in the country of Mexico. Lately, we have been working with an agency that we made. Several states in our country, 10 states in Mexico, gave birth to an agency which is called Invest in Mexico. Invest in Mexico is a feature that helps us understand what Mexico and its economy is all about. And as part of this effort, I would like to highlight in particularly for the state of Aguascalientes that we are quite strong in terms of economic development. We happen to be the #1 state in all of the country in terms of doing business in Mexico, as measured by the World Bank, with a population of 1.3 million inhabitants and a median age of 27 years old. We also happen to be one of the most competitive states in Mexico. As in the past decade, we have been having the first place in average annual growth as measured for the growth in the GDP percentage year by year. We also happen to be number 13 in terms of exports, as the main exports that we provide or we place to the world are in the areas of electronic, computer equipment, automotive products, transportation equipment, agri-products, textile and clothing products. And we also have been regarded as one of the best places to invest in Mexico. In terms of foreign direct investment, Aguascalientes ranks within the first 12 economies, the state economies of Mexico. Our main partners are the economies of Japan, the United States, Germany, France, and then some European countries, as well as Canada and China, most lately. And the main business opportunities in Aguascalientes are encompassed in different areas, such as the aerospace industry, the agribusiness, automotive and auto parts, electronic manufacturing components, health, IT and software, logistics, research, development, and innovation. So this is Aguascalientes in a snapshot. What we will be covering in the next few minutes is precisely a more detailed and more comprehensive approach to what the state of Aguascalientes has to offer. So, as I mentioned before, we ranked first in terms of the ranking for the states in Mexico for doing business in Mexico regarding the measurement provided by the World Bank. We are also ranked first in terms of average annual growth, which has been steadily of almost 5% a year. That is very closely compared to the economies of the Asian countries. We are number 5 in terms of innovation in our economic sectors, 6th in social well-being, 6th as in terms of competitiveness, and we are ranked first as well by the qualifications that both Fitch Ratings and Standard & Poor's provide to Mexican states because of the good behavior and the good management that we do on our public finances. So the state of Aguascalientes, as I mentioned before, is encompassed right in the center of Mexico. It is this area that I am highlighting with the cursor. It is one of the smallest states in Mexico, but also one of the most competitive states in the country. Our GDP per capita is close to $11.5 thousand a year, and the economy of Aguascalientes happens to be one of the most competitive ones, even with the situation that we do not have any border with the United States. We're not that close to Mexico City, our capital, and we do not have any neighborhood with the coast, either from the Gulf of Mexico on the east or with the Pacific Ocean on the west, as we are located right in the heart of Mexico, right in the middle of the country. Now, Aguascalientes bases its strength in the economy, yes, but its main feature is its people. If it wasn't for the people of Aguascalientes, the state wouldn't be as competitive as it is right now. We also provide good foundations in terms of the infrastructure, the location that we have, the readiness for the industry, especially for manufacturing activities, and the social well-being that we offer to our inhabitants. I will be talking about this as the presentation continues. This is something that I had already mentioned. We are very well ranked, number 1 in terms of doing business in Mexico, number 1 in terms of annual growth, as measured by the GDP for the Mexican states. This situation has given us the opportunity to host over 250 companies from all over the world. We have companies coming from different places, such as Japan, Germany, the United States, France, Spain, China, and some other countries. As you can see by some of the brands that are somehow familiar to the business and to the manufacturing industry mainly, but also to some other places and some other industries as well. The foreign direct investment per origin in Mexico is different from state to state. In the case of Aguascalientes, most of the FDI comes from Japan and the United States, and the reason why this is so is because we are very strong in the manufacturing sector. Aguascalientes is, as the title of this presentation says it, the engine of Mexico. Being the engine of Mexico is because not only are we host of 3 OEMs located or based in our territory, but also because at least 9 other OEMs are located in less than 200 kilometers away from here. So this has enabled the automotive industry and the auto part industry to flourish in the state of Aguascalientes. Therefore, it is not coincidence that the main exports that we provide to the world are transportation equipment with 84.6%, but we're also quite strong in computer equipment, electronic components, and food and beverages. As we are going to be covering in this presentation, and the reason why it is important for you in this expo, because we are located in the agro-industry pavilion. Aguascalientes wants to focus also on the development of the different companies that are within this sector. And these are the companies that we are highlighting for this specific event in the food and beverages industry. The most common destination for exports are the United States, Germany, and China, followed by Japan, Brazil, South Korea, and some other places of the world. I was saying before that the main component for our competitiveness in Aguascalientes is its people. And one of the reasons why this is so is because we are very young populated, but also a very talented and educated population. With an average age of 25 years old, the almost 1.3 million inhabitants of Aguascalientes offer more than just labor. We provide through our people the talent for companies to be competitive and to engage in very complex activities in the different industrial, manufacturing, and economic sectors. As we are able to see in this chart, Aguascalientes has one of the lowest percentages of no-schooling population in Mexico. Only 3% of our population does not know how to read or write. On the contrary, most of our population have at least elementary school. The average in Aguascalientes is 9 years of education. That is the full elementary and middle school programs by the common or the average person in Aguascalientes. We also host 5 of the top 10 ranking universities in the country. We are home of more than 50 higher education institutions that provide different services, such as master programs. And we ranked 5th in terms of the states of Mexico with greater access to higher education. Now, if we focus on the graph to the right, you will see that the population of students who are undertaking either undergrad or grad schools or grad studies in the state of Aguascalientes, 40% of them are within the business and law majors, but 33% of them are in the STEAM majors, that is science, technology, mathematics, and engineering. So this provides a lot of support to different sectors that are very competitive, that seek innovation as a must in order to set operations in any part of the world. And Aguascalientes is being able to generate this valuable human talent that helps companies to trust in us because of the opportunity that we have to provide young, educated talent to the different companies that set operations in the state of Aguascalientes. We are very strong in bilingual education as well as international approach and a sustainable approach from our students so that they can provide the world with opportunities to be sustainable. Now, when it comes down to infrastructure, Aguascalientes has power redundancy that ensures permanence of power supply. We also have a fuel storage facility for liquid and gases, a fuel terminal, 8 solar power plants in the photovoltaic industry or using photovoltaic technology. Aguascalientes happens to be one of the states with the most radiation of sun for major cities in Mexico. We are located in an altitude of almost 1.9 kilometers above sea level. That is that we not only are in a high altitude, but we also are capable to get over 300 days of complete sun a year. Therefore, Aguascalientes, and because of the appearance of a lot of manufacturing plants and different types of industries in the area, Aguascalientes has become one of the most sustainable states for the generation of photovoltaic energy in the country of Mexico. And we also have, we're home of 21 industrial parks that make up for the infrastructure that the different activities need. Another competitive factor for Aguascalientes is the location and the logistics of the state. We have invested over $150 million in new infrastructure projects, such as highways, such as roads, such as building and general infrastructure that provides companies and the population of Aguascalientes the opportunity to ensure that the investment projects are going to be sustainable. We have two train companies serving both coasts. This is the only state in Mexico that has that feature. We in Mexico have two main companies, Ferromex and Kansas City Western, that provide train transportation, mainly for products. In Aguascalientes, the two companies or the railways for both companies collide. So that helps us to be one of the the one state in Mexico that offers the possibility to deliver products from Aguascalientes to either the West Coast through the Ferromex Railroad or to the East Coast through the Kansas City Southern Railroad. We also have an international airport that has connections to several places in the world, as well as a customs office, and we are part of the NASCO corridor. I was talking about our airport. We have different flights, direct flights to the United States, in Midway, in Chicago, Dallas Fort Worth, Texas International Airport, the Los Angeles International Airport as well. And we are connected to Tijuana, to Monterrey, to Mexico City, to Cancun, and Puerto Vallarta by air. So this enables Aguascalientes to be one of the most connected destinations in the heart of Mexico, in the center of Mexico. And I was talking before about the Ferromex and the Kansas City Southern railroads that collide in Aguascalientes and allow us to send our products to both coasts in the United States. For over 50 years, Aguascalientes has not had any single strike in the manufacturing industry. That is data that is not matchable by any other state in Mexico. We are fortunate to be working hand by hand with the unions, with the companies and the government so that we can reassure for any investor, for any company in Aguascalientes that the main focus will be to operate and to work diligently so that labor is not an issue for our state. We offer skilled and available workforce with low turnovers. We work in different design and technology centers clustered in different organizations that support the dual educational model, that provide certifications and local development to the vendors. Therefore, Aguascalientes is working thoroughly in order to provide the conditions so that the industry flourishes in our state. All of these, the strong economy, the people, the infrastructure, the logistics, and the industry readiness collide to one basic principle, that is that Aguascalientes has a very high quality of life. At the end of the day, that's what matters, because it wouldn't have any purpose to have a good economy running if the people of Aguascalientes does not live or do not live comfortably. We provide and offer different cultural, sporting, and recreational facilities for our population, affordable housing. 2 out of every 3 workers in Aguascalientes are owners of their own home. And that tells you 2 things. One is that, one, they can afford to buy a house, and 2, they are willing to buy a house in Aguascalientes. That is, they are not looking at the state as just a seasonal place to live, but they want to establish or set foundations here. They want to set ground in Aguascalientes, and they want to become part of the community. We also offer a world-class healthcare system with international schools, with top-ranking universities, and that makes us one of the most habitable cities in the country. I was saying before, 62.8% of the workers own their own home. They have access to different services such as sewage, electricity, and running water. This is close to 100% in all of these three variables, which is a condition for a first world country. We're not a country, but we are measured just as first world countries in terms of sewage, electricity, and running water. And we are second place nationwide with availability of water and sanitation on services, just followed by Mexico City, which is the capital of Mexico. We are ranked first in terms of nutrition and access and basic access to medical care. We have more than 10 general hospitals, 3 specialty hospitals, and the security in Mexico is one of the main features of this state. We are ranked third in terms of perception of security. We have a C5 center, which is an integrated center where the police forces do their job and they keep communication, they keep track on what's going on through technology and through the allocation of resources so that we can meet the expectations for being a safe state that the population of Aguascalientes have. We also have proof of trust in the local police, and 100% of the members of the police forces in Aguascalientes are able to comply with this proof of trust. As I was talking about the quality of life in Aguascalientes, it is worth it to just stop and see what some cultural facts for this state are. Aguascalientes belongs to the chapter of the World Resilient Art Program of the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. We have the framework for the cooperation agreement with UNESCO. We are one of the few states in Mexico that have a University of Arts, in which we offer a dual educational program that is able to give certifications and to provide professional education to people who are interested in arts, such as dance, such as painting, such as music, and so on. Aguascalientes also has a creative city project with a network of municipalities around the world, and it is part of the Geopark project, which is also an initiative by the United Nations. And only in the year 2020, we had almost 3,000 artistic educational options or choices for our people. More than 4,300 cultural events and artistic presentations, even with COVID on. The year before, 2019, Aguascalientes had more than 10,000 cultural events and artistic presentations statewide, even with COVID at its peak. And Aguascalientes also happens to be the 6th national place in growth for the creative sector. So we're shaping up the future, and the way we want to do it is by making sure that every public policy that we have in the state of Aguascalientes goes through each of these 5 X's, or at least one of these 5 X's. One, that Aguascalientes is an educated, integrated, and equitable state. 2, that Aguascalientes is a law-abiding, safe, and free state. 3, that Aguascalientes has an open, austere, and honest government. 4, that Aguascalientes is competitive, diversified, and thriving in its economy. And 5th, that Aguascalientes is responsible, sustainable, and clean. When we make sure that the public policies by the government of Aguascalientes meet at least one of these axes, we are guaranteeing that the population of Aguascalientes will have an educated, a safe, an educated and safe state with an austere government and a thriving economy that is responsible for the sustainability of its environment. And our main points for directing the growth for Aguascalientes in the future are encompassed in these 8 strategic sectors, which are the aerospace industry, agribusinesses, the automobile and auto parts industry, the electronic components manufacturing industry, the information technology industry, the local vendors and logistics, the research, development and innovation industry, and the specialized healthcare services industry. So, visit us in the agro-industry pavilion in the Expo Virtual Alemania Latin America. We are located right in the agro-industry pavilion because of the products of the companies of Aguascalientes that we are promoting for this occasion, which encompass different areas such as fruits compote, fruit and juice concentrate, hibiscus extract, avocado dressing with chili, fruit vinaigrette, habanero hot sauce, pickled habanero chili, golden berries, stevia, fertilizers, dried beef, cold brew beverages, and wine. So when you visit the stand of Aguascalientes in this Expo Virtual Alemania, Latin America, what you will find is a thriving and competitive economy that is pushing its producers, its entrepreneurs, and its companies to go to the world to be competitive and to offer or supply the different products in a variety of possibilities, because we believe that by doing this, the companies and the people of Aguascalientes will also be better off by sending our products to the rest of the world, by sending our products to Germany, to Europe in general, and by also diversifying our exports, moving away from the traditional market that has been that of the United States of America, so that we can also compete in other markets, such as the European and the Asian markets that are very rapidly growing markets. So this is Aguascalientes. And finally, last but not least, our motto when we go out to the world and sell Aguascalientes as an investment place, it's not by saying invest in Aguascalientes, but it is by saying be part of Aguascalientes. And the main reason why this is so is because we want investors and we want the world to be part of Aguascalientes, to mingle with our people, to be part of our customs, of our traditions, of our culture, therefore, to be part of our community. So this is the open invitation that I offer you for visiting Aguascalientes. In this time, do so virtually through the expo, but in another occasion, you can do it by visiting Aguascalientes, coming to our airport or coming here by roads and making sure or testifying that everything that I have said in this presentation is actually truth. On behalf, once again, of our Governor, Martin Orozco, Governor of the state of Aguascalientes, and of our Minister of Economic Development, Manuel Alejandro González, Eduardo Infante, yours truly, thanks you for your attention, and we are open to any questions or comments that you may have. Thank you once again, and we are very glad to participate in the Expo Virtual Alemania Latin America. Gracias, Sandra.
Muchas gracias, señor Infante, y a todos los que nos están escuchando. Muy interesante la presentación, bastante detallada de lo que es Aguascalientes, y por eso ahora ya entendemos por qué es el motor de México. Y bueno, todas las personas que nos están escuchando seguramente los van a visitar tanto por turismo como por negocios. Como ya le dijeron, están ellos en el pabellón de agroindustrias, donde les pueden visitar en caso de tener mayores consultas o deseen tener mayor información. Una vez más, en nombre de las cámaras alemanas de Latinoamérica, le agradecemos su participación y bueno, será hasta la próxima. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, saludos.